Hey guys, good morning. This is Steve Holzer with BIMobject. Lawrence Lamb, your presenter for today, is experiencing some technical difficulties with the wonders of the GoToWebinar environment. So he's going to send me the slides. Apologize in advance. I'm in an open office here, so wasn't really going to present today. Was actually going to moderate, but I may have to step through this and bring to the light of what is BIMscript, which I can certainly do. I can't say I'm as well prepared as Lawrence, so hang on just another couple of minutes if you would, and let's see if he's able to get connected, and if not, I'll go ahead and begin the actual presentation. Thanks for your patience. All right, hello again, this is Steve Holzer with BIMobject. Lawrence is not able to connect. The wonders of technology have escaped us today, but that's okay. We're at least I've got his slide deck, and I'll be able to walk you through what BIMscript is. Today's meant to be really kind of an introductory overview of the platform of BIMscript. And one of the things that we've identified at BIMobject, one of our greatest challenges in the industry and bringing digitalization to the industry, which is what we're all about, is digitalizing the built environment. Not just because it's cool or anything else, it's because that's what lets us work in a much more transparent way and productive way across every actor in the complete building life cycle, is digitalization, and lets people interact and leverage and use the same content, see the same things. So BIMscript is a proprietary technology that we've created at BIMobject that gives us essentially what I like to say 10 for the price of one. With BIMscript, we get a single digital content file that we author in using a software package called Rhino. And what it does is it actually will take that file, and you can set up all the parametric values within BIMscript inside of Rhino. And the leverage of it is it creates 9 separate native file type formats, being ArchiCAD, SketchUp, Vectorworks, Revit, AutoCAD, 2D and 3D, IFC, FBX, OVJ. We'll get into all those in more detail later on. Let me share my screen with you. Thanks to my wonderful colleague. As you could tell, it just got started here. So anyway, what is BIMscript? What does it do? Why should I care? Where can I get it? As I mentioned, it's a plugin for Rhino. Rhino is a pretty popular, I'll call it industrial design platform. It's used for many different things. Rhinoceros is the full term for it, but it lets you work in a 3D environment, set up parametric values. And the plugin for BIMscript creates an interface for you that allows you to set up different parametric values. It's a language that's totally been developed by BIMobject for BIMobject, and anyone on the planet that wants to or is in the business of creating digital content, primarily focused on building product manufacturers. So we call those, the digital content is the Legos of the modeling environment. So it moves Rhino and BIMscript. It lets you transition from just basic CAD objects, meaning 3-dimensional visualizations, to intelligent BIM objects. And what we mean by intelligent BIM object is it has metadata, it has the properties, it has the values available for operational aspects as well. And all this can be included within the BIMscript scripting language. So it lets you also create parametric objects, objects that are many times very similar, except might have predetermined sizes. Windows and doors is a good one. A series 100 window for a casement window manufacturer might be available in 6 different widths and 10 different heights, and those are considered parametric values. So those can be programmed in, all those values that are available right within the object. All these parameters can be built into Rhino. So again, back to what I mentioned before, the output is numerous file formats. You no longer need to go add all those in to every single file format after the fact. The parametric behavior allows on an insert, the user can decide, okay, what size of the window they need and just pick the values. As well in BIMobject, as you'll see on our BIMobject portal, content created with BIMscript allows it to be configured for some non-parametric modeling systems. It allows it to be configured on the fly in a mini configurator on the BIMobject platform. So you can pick the size or the color or the finish of the hardware that you want. So we talked about this a little bit. You add the parameters and the logic to the models in Rhinoceros through scripting. And if you've ever even worked on any kind of a web page in the most basic format, it doesn't really require coding to develop these. I mean, this is really available for just some basic. Again, you don't need to know languages of code. But if you have ever built formulas in Excel, you'll be easily able to create the parametric values within Rhino through BIMscript. We talked about material groups is another couple ways. So you can have different types of finishes. You can have different metals used, even fabrics. All those can be used and set up as parametric objects. It can also move the objects around, how far off the floor, different things like this, even though they're normally set at a specific height. You can add and remove geometry for certain pieces of, let's say, furniture. You may have a center drawer and a desk or may not. Those can all be configured on the fly within BIMscript. So what does it start from? You want to start building content. Where do you start? And a lot of it's going to be from, again, industrial designers use a lot of these that you see on the screen here: CATIA, SolidWorks, Solid Edges, IGES, any of these file types, Inventor. You can bring them into Rhinoceros. And in a more advanced talk, we can share with you that we found there are some, specific, like within SolidWorks, ways that you can output the content and it won't require near the work within Rhino. You'll get a very simple, because for instance, one thing I always talk about, and we don't need, while you need for manufacturing, let's say the rivets to hold an air handling unit sheet metal together, you don't need that in the field. It's not a field serviceable item. It doesn't need to be part of, we don't need to know the strength of those rivets that's holding the sheet metal air handler together in a architectural or a building environment. So we take a lot of those pieces out, or the ball bearings in a caster on an office chair. Those aren't necessary for the user in a building environment to have. So we've taken some of those pieces and really simplify the product. As I mentioned, these are the file types that are output direct. There are 9, but essentially we usually say 10 for the price of one, because Vectorworks can actually utilize these file types as well. And not only that, AutoCAD is both 2D and 3D at this point, our output from the BIMscript platform. So obviously saves time, saves a lot of money. We got the 9 different BIM formats from one model source. You're going to get a larger audience base, especially in the case of BIMobject, but now most building product manufacturers even are global. They're multinational companies, so you will have authoring platforms in the world of design, whether it be engineers, architects, even construction managers, facility managers. They're all using modeling software that they need this content for, and they're not just using necessarily a single source. They're not just using Revit. They're not just using AutoCAD or SketchUp. There's quite a few different platforms out there. On the BIMobject platform, right now we address and we will host any file format. We're file format agnostic, but right now BIMscript to date, these are the ones that it actually puts together. Models are linked to what we call our product pages on the BIM object platform, and this allows for what we call SSOT, which is a single source of truth. So that being the case, without getting too much into our platform, which is available to learn more about on other webinars, we have property sets that are available to externalize even. And with it being a single source of truth, it always refers back to the source of even in the model 5 years from now, a facility manager is using a model that had some of BIMscript created content that was hosted on the BIM object platform, it's still linked back. So as that gets reversioned, or they change the model numbers, or they change some specifications, that can get updated, and later on someone opens that model back up, they can see that actually was happened. Where can I get it? If you go to BIMscript at BIMobject.com, BIMscript.BIMobject.com, we offer academies. We have on-site training sessions, and as well we offer a completely online. The e-learning is completely free. There is no charge from BIMobject for the accreditation. You can become an accredited BIMscript content developer. And as well, once you're an accredited BIMscript content developer, you're going to be able to be listed on the BIMscript page and LinkedIn. And we're building that up as a marketplace. So where BIMobject building product manufacturers sales folks are actually sending people to that site if they want to hire directly someone to create their own content. Content creation is something that we really are challenged, that the industry is challenged by. And actually I'm working with a couple of sources on getting some research done, but by all indications that I can research and find on my own, there's only about 25 to 30% of the building products globally are digitally available across not just BIMobject, but all platforms. There's a lot that's not there. So there's a great opportunity for BIMscript to be leveraged and create content in a scalable sort of way, as well as not just the initial content creation and having it digital. Most content gets updated probably yearly. I know certain floor covering companies, any kind of interior furnishings companies, they all update their complete line in terms of what fabrics, what finishes they're offering almost every year, as well as even appliance manufacturers. Religiously, they will update and make product changes yearly. So all this has to be actually maintained, or those changes need to be brought into the digital library and updated. So BIMscript allows this to be accomplished in a much more scalable fashion. With that being said, that's just been a brief overview. If there are any questions, the chat doesn't, no one has shared anything yet. You can type messages into the box there if you have a question, and be happy to answer it. On BIMscript, BIMobject.com, there's a form you can fill out that will get you engaged in the accreditation process, the e-learning process, if you're interested. It's a self-paced learning. On site, we offer for a fee, just basically to recover our expenses on site, an academy that is a 2-day process that walks you through a few prerequisites. I will say a lot of times people believe that we go into the full depth of training in Rhino. So prerequisites to BIMscript accreditation are going to be, you'll need a little bit of understanding of Rhino. You do need to eventually purchase a copy of Rhino. Certainly you could get through the accreditation process without purchasing it. There's available for a 90-day trial to download Rhino itself. And the BIMscript plugin is available at BIMobject.com or through, actually there's a download button right in the BIMscript website. So hang on just a minute, I'll just share my screen with you and show you where to that particular download button. When you come to the BIMscript at BIMobject.com page, you can learn a little bit about kind of what I've talked about here, what it is, who can use it, how it's used, and then scrolling at the bottom, you can actually download it right here. This will take you out to our product page, and there are two different products to download, either depending on if you're using Rhinoceros 5 or Rhinoceros 6. This is the first version. We just released BIMscript 3.1 a few weeks ago. It's the first version that has been available for Rhino 6. These are both Windows platforms, Windows versions. So they're available for either one, whichever one you choose to use. We'll go back to on the BIMscript page as well for accreditation. You can find out more about the BIMscript Academy, the online academy, and getting accredited. And you can't see it here, but yes, I want to learn more. That brings up the form I was talking about, which is where you can sign up for additional, either if you have information, you just want a question answered, happy to answer any questions you have. But also if you're interested in the e-learning, then one of our global trainers, Lawrence Lamb or Peter Mate. Lawrence is based in Toronto, Canada, so he handles pretty much the Western Hemisphere of the globe. Peter is in Budapest, Hungary, and handles pretty much the eastern half of the globe. But they both work together, and they both watch over the process as you're becoming accredited. So if no one has any additional questions, look forward to you getting engaged in BIMscript. Happy to answer anything that comes up, and throughout the accreditation process, the trainers are available to you at any point in time via email to get your questions answered, get coaching. They'll even get online with you and walk through if you're hitting a stumbling block and need some help. Bottom line is we need to get thousands of folks available to create content for building product manufacturers that are missing a great piece of the marketplace. Again, many of them only have 25 to 30% of their SKUs. They still look at this as strictly a marketing aspect. They don't understand that people are creating and building a digital facility before they actually create or build the physical facility. So in order to do that, we got to have the real content from real building product manufacturers. So join us in changing the world, getting that done. Anytime any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks for joining us today on the webinar. Apologize for the delay getting things going. And Lawrence, I'm sure, had a few other good tidbits. We will be repeating these webinars, so jump on for another. There are always new content available. Have a great day. Thank you much.